Courtroom. Judge, our next case is the dispute between the plaintiff, Mr. John Doe, and the defendant, Mr. Jack Smith. The plaintiff claims that the defendant caused damage to his vehicle, which belongs to him. The defendant denies these allegations. Mr. Doe, the floor is yours. Can you summarize your claim? John Doe. Certainly, Your Honor. A few weeks ago, the defendant caused significant damage to my parked vehicle. The bumper was scratched, mirrors were broken, and the paint was damaged. This happened entirely due to the defendant's negligence. Judge. Understood. Mr. Smith, would you like to present your defense? Jack Smith. Yes, Your Honor. I am not guilty in any way in this incident. When I parked my car, Mr. Doe's vehicle already had existing damage. There is no evidence that my car caused any harm to his. Judge. Mr. Doe, the defendant claims that there was already damage to your vehicle. Do you have any evidence to prove otherwise? John Doe. Yes, Your Honor. I have brought a second witness, Miss Jane Anderson, who can testify that my vehicle was undamaged. Judge. Thank you, Mr. Doe. The floor is yours, Mr. Smith. Can you respond to this situation? Jack Smith. Miss Anderson is a friend of Mr. Doe and is biased towards him. I should bring an impartial witness. Judge. Mr. Smith, it is your right to bring an impartial witness. We will adjourn the trial to a later date and give you an opportunity to do so. Let's determine the next trial date based on the availability of both parties. Stay here to follow the proceedings of the case. Outside the courtroom. Judge, off camera. Like in the Judge Judy program, I will do my best to listen to both sides and make a fair decision. I have given them time to present their evidence and witnesses until the next trial. I am pleased to take the necessary steps for the administration of justice. Second trial, courtroom. Judge, welcome to the second trial of the case. Mr. Smith, you requested additional time to bring an impartial witness. Have you brought your witness? Jack Smith. Yes, Your Honor. My witness, Mr. Mark Johnson, will confirm the damage to my vehicle. Judge. Thank you, Mr. Smith. Mr. Johnson, please present your statement. Mark Johnson. Thank you, Your Honor. Mr. Smith's vehicle had existing damage along with a few other damages before the incident. Therefore, Mr. Doe's claims are not accurate. Judge. Mr. Doe, what do you have to say about the information presented by Mr. Smith's witness? John Doe. Your Honor, Mr. Johnson's statements do not reflect the truth. My vehicle had no damage prior to the incident. I also have other evidence to support my claim. Judge. Very well, the floor is yours, Mr. Doe, to present your additional evidence. John Doe. Thank you, Your Honor. I have brought the recordings from the security cameras. These footage clearly shows that the defendant's vehicle collided with mine. Judge. Mr. Doe, why didn't you present this evidence earlier? John Doe. I apologize, Your Honor. We only discovered access to these recordings later, and I wanted to present them during the trial. Judge. Understood. Mr. Smith, what do you have to say about this security camera footage? Jack Smith. Your Honor, these recordings do not definitively show that the defendant's vehicle collided with mine. The footage is unclear and does not specify how the incident occurred. Judge. All right, I have examined the evidence. I need time to consider the parties' claims and witness testimonies. I am closing the trial to reach a decision. I will announce my decision as soon as possible. Judge. Good morning, everyone. Today we have a case between the plaintiff, Mr. Robert Thompson, and the defendant, Miss Sarah Lewis. Mr. Thompson is suing Miss Lewis for breach of contract. Mr. Thompson, please present your case. Robert Thompson. Thank you, Your Honor. I entered into a contract with Miss Lewis to renovate my kitchen. We agreed on the scope of work, timeline, and payment terms. However, Miss Lewis failed to complete the renovation as agreed and left the project unfinished, causing me financial loss and inconvenience. Judge, thank you for your statement, Mr. Thompson. Miss Lewis, it's your turn to respond to these allegations. Sarah Lewis. Your Honor, I acknowledge that there were delays in the renovation project, but it was due to unforeseen circumstances and Mr. Thompson's constant changes in the project requirements. I did my best to complete the work, but it became unfeasible within the given timeline. Judge. Mr. Thompson, do you have any evidence to support your claims? Robert Thompson. Yes, Your Honor. I have invoices, photographs of the unfinished work, and communication records that show the delays and the incomplete state of the project. Judge. Thank you for providing the evidence, Mr. Thompson. Miss Lewis, how do you respond to this evidence? Sarah Lewis. Your Honor, I believe there are valid reasons for the delays, such as issues with the suppliers and unexpected structural problems in Mr. Thompson's property. I admit that the project was not completed on time, but I had genuine intentions to finish it. Judge, I see. It is clear that there are conflicting arguments and evidence in this case. To ensure a fair resolution, I suggest we appoint an independent expert to evaluate the quality of the work and the extent of completion. Both parties will have the opportunity to present their case to the expert. Outside the courtroom. Judge, off camera. In order to make an informed decision, it is necessary to obtain an expert opinion on the matter. By involving an independent expert, we can have an unbiased evaluation of the renovation work and determine the appropriate course of action. The trial will be adjourned temporarily until the expert's assessment is complete. Later, courtroom. Judge, welcome back. We have received the expert's evaluation report on the renovation project. According to the expert, Ms. Lewis failed to fulfill the terms of the contract, and the work was significantly below industry standards. Sarah Lewis. Your Honor, I respectfully disagree with the expert's assessment. I believe the circumstances surrounding the project contributed to the difficulties encountered. Judge, Ms. Lewis, while I understand your perspective, the expert's evaluation holds weight in this matter. Based on the evidence presented and the expert's report, I find in favor of Mr. Thompson. Ms. Lewis, you are hereby ordered to compensate Mr. Thompson for the financial losses he incurred due to the incomplete renovation. Sarah Lewis, thank you, Your Honor. Judge, this case is now closed. Thank you, everyone, for your participation. Outside the courtroom. Judge, off camera. Resolving disputes through expert evaluation ensures a fair and impartial assessment. In this case, the expert's report provided valuable insight into the quality of the work performed by Ms. Lewis. It is crucial to have professional opinions when determining legal outcomes. Judge, good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Today we have a case between the plaintiff, Mr. David Reynolds, and the defendant, Ms. Lisa Morgan. Mr. Reynolds is accusing Ms. Morgan of defamation. Mr. Reynolds, please present your case. David Reynolds. Thank you, Your Honor. I am here today to seek justice for the false and damaging statements made by Ms. Morgan about me. She publicly accused me of theft, which has harmed my reputation and caused significant emotional distress. Judge, thank you for your statement, Mr. Reynolds. Ms. Morgan, it is now your turn to respond to these allegations. Lisa Morgan, Your Honor, I understand the gravity of the situation, but I stand by my statements. I have evidence that supports my claims of theft committed by Mr. Reynolds. I believe it is my right to express my concerns and share my experiences. Judge, Mr. Reynolds, do you have any evidence to refute Ms. Morgan's claims? David Reynolds. Yes, Your Honor. I have gathered witness testimonies and documents that prove my innocence. The evidence clearly shows that I had no involvement in the alleged theft. Judge, thank you for providing the evidence, Mr. Reynolds. Ms. Morgan, how do you respond to this evidence? Lisa Morgan. Your Honor, the evidence presented by Mr. Reynolds may be misleading. I still believe that my statements were justified based on the information available to me at the time. Judge, I understand that this is a sensitive matter, but we must consider the facts and evidence. Given the conflicting statements and evidence, it is essential to conduct a thorough investigation to establish the truth. I will appoint a qualified investigator to review the evidence and gather additional information if necessary. Outside the courtroom. Judge, off camera. To ensure a fair and impartial resolution, it is crucial to conduct a proper investigation into the matter. By appointing an investigator, we can gather all relevant facts and evidence to make an informed decision. The trial will be temporarily adjourned until the investigation is complete. Later, courtroom. Judge, we have received the investigator's report, which includes detailed findings based on the evidence and witness testimonies. After a thorough examination, it is clear that there is no substantial evidence to support the defamation claims made by Ms. Morgan against Mr. Reynolds. Lisa Morgan. Your Honor, I still believe that my concerns were valid and I stand by my statements. Judge, Ms. Morgan, while it is important to voice concerns, making false and damaging accusations without sufficient evidence can have serious consequences. Based on the investigator's report and the lack of credible evidence supporting your claims, I rule in favor of Mr. Reynolds. Ms. Morgan, you are hereby ordered to publicly retract your statements and issue an apology for the harm caused. Lisa Morgan. Thank you, Your Honor.